Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edward Vaughan, and from the CAD Center. I'm here to give you a session on the City and Guilds Functional Skills ICT Level 2 exam. So first of all, I'm going on the City and Guilds website. Going there now. I'm going to type in the box 3748, which is the number for the functional skills. And we're doing level 2 today, so I'm going to go to level 2 and we're going to do ICT, and I'm going to be doing sample 1. So I'm choosing ICT in-app sample 1. This is a sample test, so you don't need any passwords or anything. Just accept terms, confirm. I'm going to choose start exam. Alright, so this is about an open day at a school. Now the first thing you must do is look at the words in bold. So you have to create your folder. So I went through this test already, and I'm going to show you my folder as I have on my computer. So this is my folder. This is all my contents that I've got by doing this test. So we're going to go through this test, but the first thing you must do is create your folder. So you can do a right click, choose new and folder, and call it ICT test. Alright, so that would be your folder. Alright, so going back on the test, you can now choose next. Alright, so the first task is testing if you know how to search for things online. So we're going to search for school lunch menu in the UK. That's all they want. So this would answer question 1. Question 2, it's based upon choosing the right result. So we were looking for school lunches in the UK, and based upon all of these results, I think the best one that I would choose would be my school lunch, because this one is more fitting for school lunches in the UK. That's the question 2. Question 3, you have to download your file, and then you have to open the file. So let me just download again. Alright, so this is a PDF file, and this is the other file we have to. So whenever you're doing this test, make sure you download these green files into your folder, and that's the folder you created on your desktop. Right, so this is the PDF file. I'm going to right click on the PDF file, choose save as. I'm going to use the folder that I put on the desktop called ICT test. I'm going to call it, I'll call the file menu list. I'll close this, and then I'm opening the other file now, which is the evidence file. And I will call this file, the file save as, I'll call it list evidence. This evidence file. This file will go into the desktop folder, ICT test. I can press OK or press save. So I can close that now. So we have to paste the full non-meal menu, the full non-meat menu for the week only in the evidence document. So I need to go back to the folder that I downloaded those two files. This is the menu list. So all we have to do, we have to copy the non-meat menu. So just copy all of that there, right click, copy, and then we have to open up the Word file, and then you can press Ctrl V, and that would paste the file in. You could even use the mouse, but that's optional. So I just did a copy and paste from a PDF file into Microsoft Word, and then I'm going to go to File here and choose Save, and then I'm closing my file and folder and the PDF file, and that would answer question 3. Question 4 is testing how you know how to use your email. So I'm going to open up the email program. I'm going to go to new email, and then I'm going to choose this email right here. So I'm just going to take this email from the head teacher. I'm going to copy it, put that into this box, edit. I'm going on to the edit menu and choosing paste there. And we also have to CC the chair of governors. That's the chair of Green Meadow. Copy there. CC, paste. I'll give the heading of my email message meeting agenda. You can just say here, dear both, please find attached the meeting agenda. Okay, and then I can attach my file, because the question says, let me just show you the question again. See, we have to attach the meeting agenda, and that is found in the folder viewer on the desktop. So to get to that file, we choose attach, and the file is in my files, and it's meeting agenda. I can just put here as well. Again, this is just a sample. Again, I'm just giving you an idea of how to send your email. Okay. So I have my contents. I have my sender. I have my person who will be CC'd. I have my subjects, meeting agenda. I have my body, message body, and I have my attachment. So now I can press send to send my message. Okay, the other section of the question, it wants us to add two addresses in the address book. So we need to press on address book and add contacts. So the first one was head teacher. I don't know the number, so I'm going to leave that. And we know that the email was head teacher at greenmeadow.csch.eu. The web address would be www.greenmeadow.sc.eu. The job, well, she would be the head teacher, of course. Company would be Green Meadow. Alright, and then I can press OK now, and then you would do the same thing to add the other contacts. So you would just press on add contacts and add in the other one. Just add in the other one, and you would do the same thing to add the chair of governors, and then press OK, and then that's it. Alright, I think that was quite straightforward. So now we can move on to task 5. Task 5 is Excel. So the first thing we have to do is what we do most times. We have to download our folder or files into the folder. So this is the file I need. So I'm going to press on the green knob. Then I'm going to open this, and this file will open up in Excel because it's an Excel file. Alright, so now I need you to watch very carefully. Alright, so we're really working with these two sections of the spreadsheet. One is for 2008 to 2009, and the other one is from 2009 to 2010. So let's go back on the question. Alright, so we have to have a formula that says target met if there has been an increase between both years. If there has been a 5% increase between both years. Now, for us to find out if there has been some increase, we have to find the average of both sections. So this will be our first formula. Please watch. It's equal. Let me just make sure. Right. So this will be our first formula. Let me just make some space in here. Right. So the first formula I'm using is the average formula. So I'm saying I need the average for B3 to B9. Oops, B9, there we are. So this is the formula, equal average B3 to B9. And then we need to find the average for B14 to B20. So it's the same formula I'm using here. So it's equal average B14 to B20. Alright. Now based upon these two results, there has been an increase of 5%. So now that brings us to our second formula, which is the if formula. Alright, so here we go. So just watch very carefully. So here I'm saying if B10 is greater than B21, we're going to say target met. If not, then improvement is required. Right? So this would be our if function, if formula as well, to answer this section of the test. But there's something else I also have to show you, because sometimes the test gives you a function called the if and, where you have to use two criterias, and if both are met, then you would do something. So I'll just show you that right now. Okay, here is another formula that you might have to know. It's the if and function. So just have a look. Here I said if. So here I'm saying if B10 is greater than B21, and C3 is greater than 0.05, then give a result. So here my end result is not met, because C3 is not greater than 0.05. We see there. But if I change this, if I change this to 0.6, you see now it changes to target met. So this is just an example of what the if and function would look like if it came on. Right, so just make sure you have how to do these, just in case it comes in the test. Right, so we went through the average function there, equal average B3, B9. We went through the if function, and we did the if and function. There is also another function called the if or, and the only difference is, the only thing is, instead of using the and there, they just use the or. So an or goes there. That's it. Nothing else. So now this is an if or function. So just bear that in mind. I'm going on to the other part of the question. Okay, we have to do a chart as well. So to do our chart that compares the strongly agree for both years, this is how you would do it. You would highlight the first area. Please don't highlight the average. Just highlight from B2. Right, so highlight from B2 to B9. Then you hold Control on the keyboard and you click through. Click through until you've reached B20. Then we're going to go to Insert, a chart. I'm using a column chart, so I'll use on the first one. So alright, so this is my chart. I'm going to just press on the image, right click, do a cut, and then I'm going to make a new worksheet. I'm going to click on the word, right click and choose rename, and I'm going to give it a new name called chart. Then I'm going to do a right click here, and I'm going to paste in my chart. There we are. So now my chart is on a new worksheet. So this is my data, this is my worksheet. Right, so that is Excel. Okay, so now we're going to go to task 6. So we've done all of those. Now we're going to go to task 6, which is PowerPoint. Alright, so for PowerPoint, again, we have to make sure we have all of our files. So I'm going to press again to download. That's my sound file. Get the sound file. This is my image file. For the image file, I'm going to right click my image. Call it image. Call it school image. Yeah, school image. And then that's in the right folder. That's okay. Then I can show this in the folder. I'm going to move this sound file. I'm going to cut this sound file and put it into my test file. Paste it there, and then I'm going to open up my PowerPoint file, which was this one here. So the first file was our presentation file, and this will open up PowerPoint. Here I'm using 2010, 2013, and 2010 and 10. They're quite similar, so there shouldn't be much of a difference or change. I'm going to enable editing. Right, so the first thing we have to do, we have to insert, let's have a look. We have to insert the sound file and the image into a new slide. So when we have our files up, now we can go to a new slide. So I'm going to go to home. I'm on the home tab. I'm going to new slide, and I'm going to press title only. So I'm going to choose title only. I'm going to call this heading, call it Green Meadow School. Right, like that. And then I'm going to start. So to insert my image, it's insert picture. I'm going to my drive, ICT test, and there is my image. So that's my image there. To insert my sound, same tab, insert tab, and you choose audio, audio from file. Your audio should be in your folder, desktop. You choose your ICT test. There is your sound file. Then you press insert. When you have your sound file up, you press on your sound file again and choose playback. We want to hide the symbol during our slideshow, so we're going to tick that box, and we want our sound to play across all slides. Once that is done, we can go back to our question. Okay, now we have to draw a speech bubble for both of the children. So let's go there. It's inserts again. You can use the shapes tab there. You can go to callouts and find a speech bubble. Let's use that one there. And I'm just going to do the first one. I'm sure after the first one you'll have an idea of what you can do. So after I draw my bubble, I'm pressing on the shape. Then I'm going to right click and choose edit text and say welcome to Green Meadow Primary. Right, so that is how I would insert my image audio file and draw my shapes and insert text into my shapes in my presentation. Sometimes as well, you're asked to do animations as well, or transitions. So that is what I will show you now. I'm just changing the text, the size of my text here, to make it a bit more bigger as well. I can fix this next time. Uh, okay, there we are. Right, so now I'm pressing on the first slide, and then I'm pressing on transitions, and then I'm going to choose push. Then I'm going to choose apply to all. So now when I press F5, you can see my slides push up. Right. So that is one way how you could animate your work. Another thing you could do as well is choose the animations tab. So choose the tab animations and press on a text box, and then choose one of these animations. We can choose shape. Let's choose shape. There we are. And then do the same thing here. Press on the open day text box, and we'll choose shape. There we are. And then we can just we can click on with previous. We can do this as well. We can do the same thing here. We can do with previous. So now let's press F5 and see what happens. There we are. And then we can just do the same thing with the page transitions. Right. So again, to go into your slideshow, you can just press F5 on the keyboard. Okay. So if you were able to do those things, oh, there's one thing else. We have to add our charts. I think this is an error. I think this should actually say task 5, because we didn't do a chart in task 3. So I think this would actually be task 5. So let's just copy and paste our chart. So our chart, we did file, my Excel list I saved into my folder, and all they want us to copy this chart into our presentation. So I'm going to do a new slide as well. So I'm going to go to the home tab, new slide, title only. I'll call this school chart. I can just do a Control V. Right, so this is my chart that has been copied into the presentation. Right, so all of this would answer all of these questions. Again, I'm just giving you some guidance, some tips for you to feel more confident when you're doing your test. Alright, so this should be useful. After this, make sure you save your file. So I'm going to do a save as. I'm saving the presentation, and make sure you save it in the correct folder, please. Folder that you saved on your desktop, or anywhere else you saved it, and you press save. Alright, so that would cover the PowerPoint section of the work. So now I can close this. I've answered task 7 already, so I don't need this anymore. So now we can move on to task 7. Task 7 is about it's about Word, and it's using mail merge. So that is what we will do next. Right, so once again we have to download. Let's get this thing fixed. Okay, so once again we have to download our files. So by pressing on the green knob. That is our evidence documents. This is our information document. This is a text file, as you can see right there, .txt. That means that it's a text file. I'm going to do a right click on my text file, pressing save as. I'll call this list. List mail merge. No, mail merge list. That sounds better. I can save that, and then I can open this one. This is the letter that will be pasted into our Word documents. I'll just call this letter. Then I'm going to leave the evidence file. So this is our evidence file. I'll just open it to show you what it looks like. Then I can save this as well. I'll do a save as. I'll call this mail merge evidence. And make sure you save your work in the correct folder. Like this. Then you press save. Okay, so now I can start. So I'm going to close that file, and I'm going to open up Word. So this is Word. And now to do your mail merge, you should always start by using the Mailings tab, because that is where it's found. So it's Mailings, Start Mail Merge, and we're using the step-by-step Mail Merge wizard. Now this wizard has 6 steps. So we are using a letter, so keep this as is. Don't change anything. How do you want to set up your letter? Yes, we want to use the current document, so this stays the same way. We have our list. Our list came from our test, so I'm going to browse for the list. The list should be in our folder. Here we are, mail merge list. So this is our list, and then I'm just going to press OK. Then we need to write our letter. Our letter was already written, but I just have to copy and paste the words. So our letter is also in our folder, and it's called letter, and these have to be copied and pasted. So there I highlighted all my words, I pressed Ctrl C on the keyboard, and now I'm going to press Ctrl V. Again, this is optional. You could use the mouse to do the same thing. Okay, so now I need to insert my address blocks. So here we are. So I'm going to insert first my address block. So I'm just clicking on the first line, address block. Click once and press OK. And then we need to change these uppercase words into tags. So watch carefully. I'm highlighting the word name. I'm going to more items, pressing insert. Then you highlight open date. Go to more items, change it to open date. Then you change the name there as well. Go to more items, go to insert, and then teacher, you do the same thing. More items, teacher, and then the last one, room. So room, more items, teacher. Room. Right. So as is, this is now our unmerged slip right now. So what we have to do now, let me just close this. Right. So what we have to do now, we have to paste a screenshot of our unmerged slip. So this is how we do that. I'm using a program on my PC called it's called the snipping tool. So I'm using that tool now. So I'm going to press File, then I'm going to drag on the area I want to take the picture of, and I'm going to copy, and this will go into my evidence file. Let me just close that for a second. Don't save that. Okay, I'm going to open my folder now. Folder on my desktop, that is. And I'm going to open mail merge evidence, and it would go right here. So this would be my unmerged slip. That's small. Let's make it a bit bigger than that. That's better. Let's make it a bit bigger. Oh, that was really small. That's better. Right, so this is my unmerged slip. And the next evidence, let's have a look. Alright, and next evidence has to be a merged slip for only the parents whose children are helping on the 12th of June. So to do that part, we have to go back up. So this one, right? Now we need to go back. Right. So now if I choose and preview letters, this is now my merge letters. But I don't need all of these. I just need for the 12th of June 2011. So to fix this, I go to edit recipient list, and here I can choose filter, and I filter by the open dates, and it has to be equal to 12th of the 6th 2011. Then I press OK, and this is my filter. Now I press OK. I only get the dates I want, which is the 12th of the 6th 2011. And if I scroll through, all of these dates are the same. And then I can just do a screen print now of this. I can do a print screen of this, and this would be my merged evidence. Okay, that's quite small. I can just increase the size of it again. Just make some more space up here. There we are. So now I have evidence for my unmerged slip and my merged slip. Right? And this would answer the question for. Just save this. I can close this now. I don't need that. And I can just do now. I can go to a file. I can save as this. Save this letter. And this has been saved in the right folder. Yes. Alright, so this would cover the mail merge section of your test. Alright, so I hope you understood. If not, just watch this video again, and you'll see what I did. Okay. So that would cover task 7. Task 8, they just want you to show your evidence. So all they want you to do is just, let me close all of these, because I don't really need to just exit that. Yes. Over done. No. There we are. Right, so what they need, they just want you to give evidence. So first of all, they want a picture of your folder, like that. That I don't need anymore. I can close that. Right, so I'm doing the same thing here. I'm downloading my evidence file. I'm going to paste my image. That is my folder, my test folder. And they also want to know what was inside of this folder. So you have to do two pictures, one of the folder and one for the contents. That's right here. I'm using my tool called the snipping tool. Your assessor will make sure that this is on your computer, or if not, some other program can be used. Right. What was that? Right. So I'm gonna copy and paste. So I'm gonna paste that image, and then I'm gonna do a file. I'm gonna do a file here. Save as. I'll call this folder evidence. Folder evidence. And then I'll make sure again. This is my folder. And you can just save it now. Yep. It's my folder evidence. All done. That is task 8 finish. Now task 9, it's a multiple choice. Which one of the following is the symbol for a wild card search? For that search, it would be there, C. I hope that was your answer as well. Right, so this would cover sample 1 of your test, but sometimes they ask you other questions. For example, they might ask you about access. So at this time, I'm going to go through an access sample question. Right, so this is a sample test for access. So let's get started. So the first thing we do, you have to download our files. So this is my evidence folder. I'm going to open it. I'm going to do a file, save as. I'm going to call it database evidence. Then I'm going to put it into my desktop application. Desktop folder. Like that. And then I can close that now. And then this is my list that I'll be using. So I can just do a right click there. Again, it's a text file, so I can just do a save as on it. So again, I'm just hovering over the page, doing a right click and choosing save as. It might be different based upon the browser you're using. I'm using Google Chrome, so yours might not have that save function available. So I'm giving it a name. I'll call it database list. Yeah, database list. Right, I'm saving it into my folder, am I? Yes, I am. So it's desktop ICT folder, and it's been saved there. Good. I can close that now. I don't need that anymore. Now I can answer the question. Now the question is access, so we have to open up Microsoft Access. So let me just open up my Access here. Right. Next thing I have to do, I'm creating a blank database. So this is just how Access looks if you're not familiar with it. It's quite similar to the. So first of all, we're going to open a blank database, and then I'm going to choose external data. Then I'm going to choose text file. I'm going to browse for my database list that I put on my desktop. There we are. Then I'm going to press OK. And just press next there. Now for this one, please make sure you press first row contains field names. Please make sure you do this. Yeah? See the difference? And then you press next. You can leave the rest as is. Just go to next. And just, you can change, well, if you want to change the name, let's call it database list. Oh, I'll leave it. Just press finish. You can choose to save your import steps, but I won't. Right, so if we look now, we have two tables. So what you have to do, you must double click on the database list. This is the list that has been imported into Access. Right, so now we can use this list and create our query. So we need to create a query to find those interested in a beginner class for street routines. Now to do this, now if you look, the class type has 3 sections: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The class style has hip hop, breakdance, street routines. So let's get started. So first of all, we press on the tab, we choose create. Then we can choose query wizard. Just follow all the steps. We're using a simple query wizard, query, right? And then we're gonna put all of these files in, and we're gonna choose next. We'll leave, and then here we're going to choose modify the query design. Right, now this is where we have to type in our query right here. So for the class type, we type in beginner, B-E-G-N-N-E-R, and then for the class style, we type street routines. Now we have to take a screenshot of this because the question wants us to paste a screenshot of the design view of the query, and this is the design view of our query. Okay, so we have to take a screen print. So I'm using again my tool. You know, it's the snipping tool. Yeah, like that. Paste this into my folder. I call it evidence. Right, here we are, database evidence, and it goes right in here. Control V to paste on the keyboard. If you're using the mouse, it will be different. If I want extra evidence as well, I can even press on the run. Now this run will give the results for our new query. There we are. So these are the names of those who are interested in street routines and beginners. So I can even do a screen print of this as well, just to give more evidence to show that I fully understand what I'm doing and you fully understand what you're doing as well. Copy. You can just paste it there as well. Good. So now we have to do one more thing as well. We need evidence. We need a report as well. So we need a complete report of this. So that is what we will be doing now. So I'm going back to Access here. Right. And what you do now, you go to Create, and then we're using a report wizard. Oh, yes, we have to save first. So let me just save that. Yeah, I'll just save it. It's been saved. Right, so now we're at our report wizard. So I just have to move all these out, and then I don't need, now based upon what the question asks, the question only wants us to show title, last name, first name, initial, address 1, address 2, town, county, and postcode. So all we need here, we don't need the age, we don't need the class type, we don't need the class style, but the rest we need. So we need all of these. Alright, so now we go to next. Then we go to next here again. We can ascend by the title and then choose next, and then we can just let's leave it as is, like that. Go to next. We can give it our name. I'll leave this name as is. Actually no, I'll call it I'll call this query reports. Query reports. And then I press finish. Right, so this is our report. So now I can just do a print screen of this. Again, your report might be different based upon what options you chose. All right, but it's still correct. Right, so that is a screenshot there of our report. Right, so and if you wanted to use other options, we could even report, then your answer will be correct. Okay, so that is our query finished, our report is also finished, and we have done our screenshots. So that is all of our evidence we need, and that covers all of our answers and task 6, which is based upon access. So now I can just do a file and save, and I can close this. Right, so I hope this session was helpful, and just to make sure to practice, because practice makes perfect. Don't worry about anything, just be confident in whatever you do, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.